Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're digging into something pretty central to a lot of AI tools you might be using, large language models, or LLMs.
That's right. Specifically, how they act as the real engine behind generative AI, Gen AI applications.
Exactly. We want to understand that link and also tackle this interesting thing about how LLM responses aren't always identical.
Yeah, that variability is key.
So if you've ever wondered what's really going on under the hood with these AI tools or why you might get slightly different answers sometimes, well, this conversation is definitely for you.
Absolutely. We're looking at the core technology. It's really important to get that LLMs are the fundamental building block for so many Gen AI tools out there. Think chatbots, content generation, that kind of thing.
Okay, so they're the base, the foundation. But, how do they do it? How do they actually generate text or code? What's happening there?
Well, think of LLMs as being incredibly good at recognizing patterns. They're trained on just massive amounts of data text, code, billions and billions of examples.
Right, huge data sets.
Huge. And from all that data, they learn these really intricate patterns in language, how words tend to follow other words, how code structures usually look.
So statistical.
Exactly. It's all about predicting probabilities. Which word is most likely to come next based on everything it's seen.
Right.
That ability to recognize and then reproduce those statistical links lets them generate new stuff.
Okay, so it's not really understanding in the human sense, more like sophisticated prediction.
That's a great way to put it. Prediction based on patterns. And that leads us right into this idea of stochasticity.
Stochasticity. Okay, what does that mean in this context?
It basically just describes the probabilistic nature we were talking about. So an LLM's output isn't fixed. It's not like a simple program where input A always gives output B.
Right. No fixed rules table?
No. Instead, the output is generated based on the probabilities it learned during training. There isn't like one single correct answer stored somewhere that it just fetches.
Ah, okay. I think I get it. So is that why, say, if you ask an AI chatbot the same question, maybe a few times, you might get slightly different wording or examples each time? Is that stochasticity?
It's it exactly. That's a perfect example. Because it's generating the response word by word based on probabilities, there's always some element of chance.
There's a bit of variation.
Yeah, minor variations creep in. It's constructing a response based on what's statistically likely, not pulling a predefined answer off a shelf.
So this element of chance, the stochasticity, could you maybe say that's almost like the creative act of the LLM?
You could, in a sense, yeah, because each output is a unique generation based on those probabilities. It's not just spitting back stored data.
It's building something new each time.
Right. It's synthesizing, even if the underlying data it learned from is the same. And, this variability is actually quite interesting. It has real implications.
How so?
Well, think about it. In creative tasks like writing prompts or brainstorming, that variation can be great. It gives you different options, fresh angles.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
But in areas where you need absolute factual consistency, say medical information or financial reports, that same variability, well, it becomes something you really need to manage carefully. You need to be aware of it.
Right, consistency versus creativity. Makes sense. Okay, so let's quickly recap. LLMs are the core engine for a lot of Gen AI.
Yep, the foundation.
They learn by spotting statistical patterns in just enormous amounts of data.
That's the training process.
And their responses aren't predetermined, but are probabilistic. That's stochasticity, which explains why answers can vary.
And highlights that generative aspect, yes.
So it's less about retrieving info and more about constructing it based on probabilities.
You've got it. And that really leads to a final thought, something for you, the listener, to consider. Knowing that this variability is inherent in how these AIs work. How does that change how you might use them? Or maybe how much you rely on them for different kinds of tasks in the future.
Yeah, that's definitely something worth mulling over. How does that inherent unpredictability affect trust in application? Good food for thought.